this is Alex, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video on this because I've recently made a video on the Villainous game, but I thought because I've talked about all of the other expansion packs, I feel like it would be a bit unfair if I didn't talk about this one, and B, because not only does it have a villain from my personal favourite Disney animated film, but from two who are in my top 5. So this is the latest Villainous expansion, which is Despicable Plots. These, as you can tell, it includes Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and it also comes with Lady Tremaine, aka the evil stepmother from Cinderella, and the Horned King from the Black Cauldron. And I was quite surprised to hear that the Horned King was going to be involved, but I'm really glad because it gives light on the Black Cauldron, because I don't think it's one of the worst. But the Horned King is actually probably one of the best parts of the Black Cauldron, so I'm glad they've given him some light. So yeah, I just thought I'd do just a quick casual video just explaining what these villains, what you have to do in order to win, and obviously show off the artwork because I adore the artwork. So first off, before we really get into it, I'm going to first show you the markers. So for Gaston, of course you have to show off the muscles there. So that's the Gaston marker. Really, really good. And Lady Tremaine, don't be... I know what everyone's thinking, that is meant to be her hair, and I love how it includes her little emblem, like down here, and I also like the fact that it's transparent, like the glass slipper, so I thought, oh yeah, that's a good idea, because I thought she was gonna look kind of burgundy, much like her dress, but I'm really glad they sort of given her a transparent look. And then the Horned King, I think the Horned King is probably one of my favourite of the Villainous markers. There is so much detail in there from the skull to also here with the Black Cauldron itself. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go through each villain, so let's do this. Okay, so this time we're going to start off with the Horned King, which his objective is to have Cauldron born in each location, and his quote is, "Arise, my messengers of death, our time has arrived." So if I can turn that over here, so his realm includes Morva, the Fair Folk Kingdom, the dungeons, and the throne room. So, how on earth do you have Cauldron born? Well, of course, you have to claim the Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron is a special card, which you need to obtain in any other ways. I'll show you a bit later. And flip it over to the power of the Black Cauldron, and you can start replacing ancient soldiers for Cauldron born, so I'll show you that in a minute. So obviously there are a few cards to try and get the Black Cauldron, so I'm just trying to find them at the moment. So things like we have made a bargain, which is if you discard Drimwin, I believe that's the sword, you can claim the Black Cauldron, or sometimes it's show me the Black Cauldron. Or if you defeat Henwin, which is in your fate pile, and of course there are other things to, you know, such as allies to get rid of those heroes, and of course you're going to be looking for Cauldron-born cards, but you first need to have ancient soldiers at each location. Once the Black Cauldron is switched to the power of the Black Cauldron, you can then replace the ancient soldiers with the Cauldron-born. Once you have all 4 Cauldron-born at each location, then you win the game. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. It all depends on when your cards come out. And then of course you got the heroes, like as I said, Henwin. Even though you cannot play effects, but once she's defeated, you can claim the Black Cauldron. You've got Gurgi, you've got the Fair Folk. Ancient soldiers cannot be played to this location. I will admit the heroes are a little... doesn't have a huge effect on you. The thing that probably has the biggest effect is Gurgi's Sacrifice. If the power of the Black Cauldron is face up, flip it over, because I think if you can't do it if it's on its normal side and you haven't flipped it over at the start of your turn, you need to discard a Cauldron born. So you're going to keep discarding them and trying to put them back and everything like that. So yeah, that is the Horned King. The next one is Lady Tremaine, aka the evil stepmother from Cinderella. Her objective is to either marry Drizella or Anastasia to the prince. And her quote here is, "Above all, self-control." So, the locations in her realm is Cinderella's room, the music room, the castle, and the ballroom. And the ballroom is locked. So, how on earth are you going to marry your stepdaughters to the prince? Well, first off, you've got to find your stepdaughters. Oh, I've just found Anastasia. Let me just try and find Drizella. There she is. I'm just going to put them in separate locations so you can have a look. And then there are versions in your villain deck that's ball gown versions of the stepdaughters. So once you find them, obviously you would need to have played the normal stepdaughters first before you can play the ball gown. So here's ball gown Anastasia. And just trying to find her. Oh, there she is. And ball gown Drizella. Okay, so you need to have your daughters all dressed up ready for the ball. How do you get the ball? Because it's locked. You'll need an invitation from the king. Once the invitation is played, you can unlock the ballroom, and if he's not already revealed, you will need to find the prince and have him play to the ballroom. The ballroom at the top, no actions are covered, so that's pretty much fine. So basically, so then you would need to, so now that you have access to the ballroom, you can move the stepdaughters there, and then you will need to find, it's all about finding the right cards with Lady Tremaine. Just gotta find the right one. And then you will need the wedding bells. And then once you've played it and you can activate it if a ball gown stepdaughter is in the ballroom and the prince is there and there are no glass slippers in play, you activate the wedding bells and you've won the game. So obviously, what is the one thing that's mainly going to be in the way? Well, that is of course Cinderella. However, much like the stepdaughters, if regular Cinderella is in play, then you can change to ball gown Cinderella. However, if your opponent reveals ball gown Cinderella but Cinderella is not in play, then you cannot play her. The only exception to the rule, of course, is the fairy godmother. Once you play the fairy godmother, you can play ball gown Cinderella, and you don't need regular Cinderella in play. Now, the interesting thing about the heroes is that Lady Tremaine cannot defeat them, so to say. There are a couple that can help you defeat certain characters, but you can't vanquish them. You have no vanquish actions. So what you have instead is you have a lock token in which you can play certain cards or activate something like the key, for example, and then once that, you can put the lock on the hero and their ability is no longer activated. They still have to stay in your realm, but they are locked up and they can't really do anything. So for example, while Cinderella is in play, all effect cards cost +2 power. However, if there's a lock token on there, that doesn't need anything. But obviously there are other ways to defeat heroes such as You Little Thief, defeat either Cinderella or ball gown Cinderella, or Midnight, which is defeat all your heroes, find and play both glass slippers. So the glass slippers come into is an important part. So we've got one here that needs to be in Cinderella's bedroom, and then the other is to be played at the castle. If any of the glass slippers are in play, you cannot win. So you have to find a way to get rid of the glass slippers. So one of the most important cards that I suggest you play is Lady Tremaine's cane, because once you activate it, you can remove a glass slipper. Obviously, there are other heroes, of course, such as, Jacques and Gus, that have their abilities. You also have Bruno the dog. You've even got Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, which it can remove a trap token from a hero. So it's a little bit, Lady Tremaine's a little bit complicated. it's all about trying to get the right cards. Like, you know, for example, I had ball gown versions of the stepdaughters way too early, but for the life of me, I just could not find plain old Drizella and Anastasia, and I had to find them first before I could play it. So it's all about that. So yeah, bit complicated, but honestly, I do have a lot of fun with it, mostly because Cinderella's one of my favourite Disney films. So yeah, no, hers is a lot of fun. And then of course we have Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, with his objective removing all 8 obstacles, and his quote, "And don't I deserve the best?" Sure you do, Gaston, sure you do. So his realm is Belle's house, the tavern, the woods, and the Beast's castle. So what are the obstacles? They are these little tiny chips. I don't know if you can make that out very well. It's basically of the Beast. From what I understand it, it's basically, I don't know how to explain it very well. It's kind of like the level of like chemistry that Belle and the Beast have. So obviously all these obstacles are when Belle and the Beast are in love, I'm guessing. But obviously you need to remove each one, every single one, in order to convince Belle that Gaston is the right man for her. So, I'll just get the right one. So obviously there are many ways on trying to get rid of the obstacles, like for example Monsieur Dark. If you play him and you can activate by paying 2 power, you can remove an obstacle. You can, I'm trying to find the right ones now, you can sort of make a little bit of a gamble with Take Me instead, reveal cards from your fate deck until you find a hero. Then play that hero, but you can remove an obstacle. Or there are things such as Temper, remove 1 obstacle, and Get Out. It costs 5, but it lets you remove 3. Or Coming to the Light, remove up to 2 obstacles from a single location, so that sort of thing. But the most important thing as well as trying to remove your obstacles, is of course having your allies. So let me just try and find them. Where are they? So of course you've got LeFou. LeFou is a really helpful one because if any allies in LeFou's location is used to vanquish, you can return them to your hand instead. Wolves, it's good to spread out the wolves. I think there's about 4 of them in there because they gain +1 strength for every other wolf in play. So it's good to sort of spread them out a bit. So, and then of course the most powerful ally you have is your angry mob. I'll just place it to the castle there. So of course the main thing for the heroes is to prevent you from getting from removing any obstacles. For example, you have things such as Belle herself. No obstacles can be removed while Belle is in play. I've never seen so many books replace 1 obstacle. Massaging my feet, replace 2. And a very, very powerful one, which is It Is You, replace 1 obstacle in each location. So you see what I mean by level? It seems as though the scenes in the movie, yeah, again, another one, You Saved My Life, replace all obstacles in a single location. It's sort of the moments where Belle and the Beast really start falling for each other. But then there's an interesting one to know for Gaston players to know, is that allies such as the Beast and Maurice, they are quite good because Maurice can bring out his invention, which is an absolute pain, or the Beast has a 6 of strength. But once they are defeated, if Maurice is defeated, then you can remove all of the obstacles from Belle's house, and if the Beast is defeated, you can remove all the obstacles from the Beast's castle. So it's going to be a lot of flip-flopping, much like the Horn King, but honestly, I think Gaston is a really good one for anyone who's starting out playing Villainous, much like King John, because at the end of the day, it's a simple objective. Just try and remove all your obstacles. But yeah, no, but once again, the great thing about Villainous is just how authentic it is to the films, and of course the artwork. is just absolutely spectacular. So hope you enjoyed this video, and take care everyone!